Coming up this month, OpenAI makes a $3 billion move to supercharge its AI training. Zapier gives access to all its integrations via its MCP servers to AI chatbots. GitHub Advanced Security, well, now it's available for non-enterprise customers. And finally, Russia can't seem to stay out of any election lately. I'm Matt Wicks, and let's get into it. So, kicking off the news this month, OpenAI has agreed to purchase Windsurf for $3 billion. Now, Windsurf, if you don't know, is a code editor similar to Cursor. Funnily enough, Windsurf used to be called Kodium, and Cursor was a fork of Kodium. So they're tightly related, and Kodium itself is a fork of VS Code. So yeah, they're all in that space. Now, this is really interesting because I'm kind of drawing a parallel between what Microsoft and GitHub are doing with VS Code and Copilot. It looks like OpenAI are making the same play. If we look at the in the article, we can see that only last August, Windsurf was valued at 1.25 billion. And they've been purchased for 3 billion. That's kind of huge in my mind, and interested to see where OpenAI takes this. Okay, next up in the news, we've got Zapier. They've released an MCP server to give AI chatbots access to their thousands of integrations. This is really cool. I can go and hook up my AI assistant to my calendar via Zapier, ask it questions, get some information out of it, and control the integrations through there. So MCP servers are all the rage right now. So there's definitely an industry shift towards this. So I'd definitely try to stay abreast of all this information. It's going to be important soon. This is mcpservers.org. It's a list of a whole bunch of MCP servers that you can stand up and run with. So if you want to get AI to query, your Git or query Google Maps, or anything else, there's an option in there that you can fire up. GitHub was recently in the news as well. They've released their own MCP server as a public preview, so you can get up and running with that and query your code bases. In the news again, we've got GitHub with GitHub Advanced Security now being available to purchase as an add-on for non-enterprise customers. Previously, this was limited to enterprise customers only. So this is a really cool suite of tools. It's got secret protection in there and tools, some automation to help prevent the exposure when secrets do leak out. It's not an if, it's really a when. Now, you also get access to some code scanning tools that can look over your code bases and try and find some low-hanging fruit or potential vulnerabilities in your code bases and suggest fixes for those. So if you're on GitHub Teams, definitely look at GitHub Advanced Security. Moving on to Microsoft, we've got .NET Aspire 9.2 has been released. This is really important for a couple of reasons. The most important one is that the way that the support works for .NET Aspire is you have to be on the latest version. So I'd be looking at updating as soon as you can. This has a whole bunch of cool features. So we can see here, ThoughtWorks has added .NET Aspire to its technology radar. So it is an important piece of tech. It's easy to update. You just need to update a package. So there's no real excuse to not to be on the latest version. Now, this is the money shot as far as I'm concerned. You have this in the resources group. You've got a graph of all your application and all the resources that you've got in your solution. And you can see how they all interact. You can click on them and check out to see what's all the details with that. You know what information is on there, what secrets are being passed in, and you get a whole bunch of information. So I think that's really cool. So the other cool thing is you can create your own custom HTTP commands. So maybe you want to have an API endpoint that you want to call from the Aspire dashboard. You can do that now. And if you publish, you can publish to a Docker Compose file, so you've got more options there. Okay, continuing on with Microsoft news. We've got .NET 10. Preview 3 has been released. .NET 10 will be shipped in November, but until then, we've got some previews to play around with. I'm just going to give you a couple of my highlights for this preview. So the first thing is extension members. These are similar to extension methods, which we've had for the last, I don't know, 17 years. But now we're able to add actual members onto here. So I can have my static class with my extensions. I then use the new extension keyword and say this is going to be on this type of object. And then I can add some properties onto there. And then I can call them just as if they're on the object in the first place. So I think this is really cool, and I'm interested to see how people are going to be using them. The next thing is null conditional assignment. So we've been able to use the question mark when accessing object properties to have, conditional reading. We're now able to use it for conditional assignment. So I can't believe I didn't think about this before, think about using it this way before. But instead of, checking, hey, if the customer is not null, then I'm going to update the age property, because if customer was null, I'd get a null reference exception. Now I can just write, customer question mark dot age equals age, and it under the hood it will write out this code up here. So I can't believe that they didn't do this before, but this just seems like a no-brainer to me. Okay, finally, we've got validation support being added to ASP.NET Core minimal APIs. Now, this can be done a couple of different ways. We've got the validation attribute that can be implemented, or there's a I-validatable object for more complex validation. So you need to add the validation as a service when you're bootstrapping your application, and then you can just have your validation attributes on the actual APIs. Now, I'm sure there's going to be other implementations out there like Fluent Validation that are going to handle this a little bit more seamlessly, but it's being built in, which is awesome. Now, if you're like me and you like to play with the previews, but you don't want to dirty up your dev environments, remember you can use dev containers to help try things out and have a play. So there's a cool article here on the .NET blog that goes through, hey, what are dev containers, the types of images, and how to get up and running with them. So you can fire up the latest .NET 10 preview and have a play with it and not worry about it, dirtying up the rest of your system. So definitely check out dev containers. Okay, finally, for some interesting news, we've got ABC News reporting on pro-Russian operatives trying to bias AI responses to make them a little bit more Russian-friendly. So this is super important. It's so easy to ask, AI to summarize historical events or ask it questions about historical events or summarize the news. And you don't really know where it's getting its information from. And you don't know if it's getting its information from, potentially fake news sources or news that's intentionally set up to bias AI. So if you're asking AI to summarize some stuff, I'd recommend just giving it a little bit more context and saying, hey, I trust these reputable sources. And if you could get the information from there, that'd be great. So stay safe. So that's the news this month. Obviously, we can't cover everything. There's so much news out there. If we've missed something that you feel is important, drop it in the comments below. Like and subscribe to the SSW TV channel so you can keep up to date on all the news, and check out our user groups. And this month's user group is Purnima Nayar. She's talking about choosing the right messaging solution for your architecture. Every architectural choice has its pros and cons, its trade-offs. Messaging's no different. So I'm really interested to watch this and just make sure I'm making the right choice for my next project. I'm Matt Wicks. Thanks for watching.